Has Parliament had enough of King Charles' ambivalence to deal with Prince Harry? Yes, many of you have been hearing that King Charles is in talks with Parliament over the custody of the children in case they get divorced. That's not the case. But what could be the case is that Parliament is giving King Charles an ultimatum about Harry's titles. So let's look into this. Let's explore this little thing, shall we? Parliament is putting horrible pressure on King Charles to remove Harry's titles. It's either you do it or we will do it. Either we allow you the dignity to handle this yourself or we will do it for you. Parliament has had enough. So what will happen? What will happen, and the reason why I'm doing this video is because I want to address many emails, most of them very nasty, sent to me in regards to me being ignorant and not knowing the law. Yes, that's Siri back there just having a blast with her with her toys. And I apologize for that because it takes away from the seriousness of this video, but she's my daughter and I'm a single mom. Anyways, yes. So most of the emails have been nasty because I don't speak with a posh accent. I don't speak English with the British accent. I don't have a castle, but I have been right in every count. People underestimate me or belittle me because they when I was in Norway for some reason, they thought I was more correct than what I am now. Maybe it's geography. I have worked in diplomacy for those of you who are here. I've handled a lot of stuff with royalty, diplomacy, government issues. So I know, unless the rules have changed, I know what I'm talking about a little bit. I may not be a legal expert, but I do know because I have worked in this pretty much all my life. So I can't get into details because those things were confidential when you handle stuff like that. So for those of you who still question certain things and the emails I've gotten, no, King Charles cannot take away Harry's children. That's an impossibility. Those children live in the United States, are U.S. citizens and moreover residents, because Harry committed the stupid mistake of moving to California with Meghan. Instead of telling her, instead of grabbing his balls and saying, if you want to go, you go, but me and my kids are staying here. Why? Because he wanted to appease her. He wanted to spite his family. Now, I am going to tell you for the millionth time about the titles. But yes, right now, Parliament is seriously demanding Charles to do his duty to the monarchy and remove Meghan and Harry from the monarchy's website, and to either he will remove the titles or they will do the second reading of that bill and pass it through. And then he will have a hard time not giving it its royal assent, because ultimately the king, the monarch, has to give royal assent to all laws. And I've heard a lot of people talk about, it takes years. It could take months. When the Queen wanted the Succession Act amended from gender to primogeniture, it was done in less than 3 months. Not years, not months, not years, not even 1 year, months. So let's explore why Parliament is entitled to demand Charles to remove the titles and whether or not he actually has the right to do it. Please just listen to what I have to show, because I'm actually showing you examples of that. And hopefully, this will be settled once and for all. I am still being asked over and over again in emails, or actually not even asked, being told that I'm ignorant because so-and-so keeps saying that the monarch can't remove any royal titles. So I decided to give you a very, very specific Example: revocation of the princely title and style from a prince/princess of the blood. In 1919, King George V issued letters patent to remove HRH Princess Patricia of Connaught, HRH and princely style. After the issuing of the letters patent, she was known as Lady Patricia Ramsay. Patricia was a male line granddaughter of Queen Victoria and was first cousin to George V and was Princess of the United Kingdom by birth. I see a lot of YouTubers making videos as to why the monarch can't remove titles. I don't see any of them making videos as to why the monarch can't grant titles. All lawyers should know that what is done in a certain way can only be undone the same way. If you do something through the law, it can only be broken or taken away or annulled by law as well. The monarch, the letters patent, is the only legal instrument the monarch has to grant, bestow, remove, limit all royal styles and dignities. I will give you another one further. Philip, the Queen's husband. He was a prince of Greece or whatever, but not Prince of the United Kingdom. And he renounced his princely titles in order to marry Princess Elizabeth at the time. And the King George VI, made him a royal duke, because he can. And the Queen, 10 years later, after her marriage, made her husband a royal prince. He was His Royal Highness, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, the Duke of Edinburgh. Why? Because she can. I don't see why nobody questions the fact that the Queen is able to grant titles. But I see all these theories that Parliament has to be involved. No. I'll give you another one since you're asking. In 1915, in 1917, King George V, when he issued his famous letters patent, reducing the number of people who could be called prince and princess and enjoy the style HRH. Bunch of people woke up being Mr. and Mrs. Smith, so to speak. And 2 years later, he issued the specific letters patent. Another one, Prince and Prince Charlotte and Prince Louis. I'll give you another one. I don't know if many of you know this, but when Sarah Ferguson divorced Prince Andrew, she was still allowed to call herself Her Royal Highness, Duchess of York, until the Queen issued a letters patent in reference to Diana, Princess of Wales, stating that she could not be called Her Royal Highness. This is why Princess Diana thought she could be called herself HRH, because Sarah Ferguson was allowed to keep using HRH, Duchess of York. So when the Queen forbade Princess Diana or issued the letters patent saying that she could no longer be styled HRH, she also applied it to Sarah Ferguson. She backdated it. So how come none of these legal brilliant minds are making videos as to why a monarch can't issue, grant, give, annul, limit any royal titles? Why they can't? Didn't anybody say, well, the Queen can't give Harry a Duke of Sussex title? She can't. She has to ask permission from Parliament. The Queen can't make Prince Charlotte or Prince Louis a prince and princess. She can't, because there's a 1917 letters patent. The Queen can't request for the Succession Act to be amended by turning it into primogeniture instead of gender. She can't. There's even an example online on how the king would write this letters patent. Charles III, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and of our other realms and territories, King, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith, to all to whom these presents shall come greeting, whereas on this whatever day of whatever year and whatever we of our special grace and favor conferred, whatever title you want to give upon whoever you want to give it to, as a whatever you want to do with that. Now know ye that we, of our certain knowledge, and mere motion to hereby cancel and annul the confer title upon the said person as a duke, together with all, or prince, together with all rights, precedences, privileges, and advantages to the same degree, title, honor, and dignity belonging or appertaining thereto. In witness whereof we have caused these our letters to be made patent witness ourselves at Westminster, whatever the day and the month and the year of our reign. That's how it's done. It's the same type of letter, but instead of annul, you would see bestow, grant, gift. Okay? You have the letters patent from Princess Charlotte, letters patent for Prince Louis. They were not entitled to be called prince and princess according to the 1917 letters patent, yet the Queen did it. She didn't need to bring parliament. She didn't need to bring lawyers. She didn't need to run through things. She didn't know. The Queen conferred those titles with a letters patent. Okay, the Duke of Windsor was made the former Edward, the king who abdicated. He was conferred the title of Duke of Windsor, but that's because it was a trade-off, because King George VI wanted him to give him all his properties, because as the eldest brother, even though he had abdicated the crown, he was still entitled to all the properties as the eldest son. Okay, so it was a trade-off. So this is pretty much how it's done. And this is why Meghan Markle was so pissed, because she was saying, if the Queen granted the titles, this is what she was poorly trying to say. If the Queen broke or tradition and granted Prince and Princess title to Charlotte and Louis, in spite of the fact that they were not really entitled to it, why couldn't she do the same with Archie? Okay, because yes, the Queen, there was already a 1917 letters patent. So I am very confused when people are still having an issue with this. Because if the Queen is able to grant it in law, especially in law, all lawyers know what is done in a certain manner can only be undone in a certain way. So I am absolutely back. I mean, even Parliament has answered this question, and I'm putting this for the 1 millionth time. Remove the Duke and Duchess titles, okay? Why was this rejected by Parliament? And this is in writing. We can't publish petitions about honors and appointments, including asking for people to be given or have titles removed. In any case, the use of royal titles are a matter for Her Majesty the Queen and not the government or Parliament. I don't know, maybe I am a complete imbecile and I don't know how to read English, but I think Parliament is telling me to F off, quit bothering us, because this is up to the monarch. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you think, City? Do you think it'll be settled once and for all? Yeah, maybe they will. Maybe they won't send me nasty emails, right?